broadcast is live. Two pods on a broadcast. It's been 2 weeks. What up, Ka?
Am I frozen? I'm seeing I have no bras.
You are
hey.
frozen.
Am I frozen? Sorry. Tech issues. Am I right? My husband's not home.
I was just saying to Mary, it's tech issues everywhere I go. It's tech issues online. It's tech issues IRL. I feel like the tech is glitching out. It's probably on purpose, just to steal precious moments of our lives and drive us crazy. It's across the board.
Yep. So, yes. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I can't complain, thankfully. My husband and my mother say I seem really happy. And for those two to say that, that's good. And my eyelashes are long. And fun fact about me, you can always tell how happy I am by how long my eyelashes are. Because if I'm really stressed and really upset, they fall out. So, long. I'm good. How are you? How was your road? What are you shaking your head about?
Oh, I keep seeing that I'm losing Wi-Fi.
Tech issues. It's a fine on the stream, Joe says.
Is it? All right. That's what I'm trying to. Okay. So, yes, I went on a road trip and I was telling your husband before we went live, we went to Walt Disney World. And the last time we went was in 2017. And it took us 5 years to save up enough credit card points to go back. And it's a different freaking world. It's a different world than what it was, 5 years ago. And it was jarring. It was jarring.
Yeah, jarring. I use the word jarring quite a bit myself. So I've never been to Disney. Just so you know, I want to hear everything. I want to hear what you saw on the road, like as you went from the Northeast down south, and then we can end with the happiest place on earth, as you call it.
Mm-hmm. So on the first of all, I've been making this trek for 22 years this month. So for 22 years, I'm not big into flying. I'm terrified of flying, but I will say that fear has very quickly left me with driving down to Florida this time. There used to be a big difference between the northern states and the southern states. I don't know if you remember that. Now, I'm only going back 22 years here. Or no, I guess it would be 24. For the first time I went down south, we went to Memphis. We went to go see Graceland and everything, me and my friend Laura. And the south was so different from the north. I remember one time we went to a coffee shop and she asked for an iced coffee. And she got coffee with a tea bag in it. They know iced tea. They didn't know iced coffee. So they thought it was like tea and coffee. It used to be so different. And now up and down the East Coast, everything is exactly the same everywhere. And that's one of the sad things that there's no culture as obvious cultural differences within just our nation that there used to be. And I think that's really depressing. Down south, it used to always be, easy, a little slower moving. And that's not a criticism. They had the right idea back then. But now driving through the south, it's like driving through New York City or any major city in the United States. It's like you're going to get wiped out in a heartbeat, because people are driving crazy. They all want to go strip mall, USA. Joe says it's so true. And getting off at the rest areas, I will say are still pretty clean. The states do a good job with those. South Carolina probably being the best. But getting off to get food or gas, You never know like where you're getting off. It's like, are you gonna get off in like a decent like town, or are you gonna wind up in like the red light district, which seems to be very prevalent.
Really?
And,
Like legalized redwood light districts, or kind of like just seedy and illegal?
okay, I call it red light districts, but it's like the areas that has a strip club on every corner. So you can, I'm driving through during broad daylight, so I can only, you know, assume what happens when the sun goes down in these areas. The other thing is the homelessness, like walking into a homeless encampment just to get gas, and the drugs and the litter. It's totally different than it was.
Walking through a homeless encampment to get gas, an encampment at like there is it a homeless encampment at a gas station? What are you telling me?
No,
There's homeless in my city.
We took 95, all right, and we took it during broad daylight. Like we're the type of family will wake up at 5, hit the road, and drive all day. And so when you get off 95 to go to a gas station, in some cases you have to drive a good deal, right? And like a good deal being like a mile and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And you're driving through this area and it's like poverty, it's homelessness, it's drugs. In other instances, it's like a bunch of strip clubs in the Bible Belt. But there's like not just one. It's not just like the Lion's Den, which is always highly advertised on 95 South. It always has been.
Going back Lion's Den?
Yeah, going back as long as even I can remember. I remember being like, oh, the Lion's Den, Gentlemen's Club. It's not just that now. Now there's like a bunch of them, and like, you know, the neon lights that say massage on like random storefronts. It's weird. It's different. It's different.
It's idiocracy. You also told me that you noticed that I mean, yeah, I know people get mad at me, but the overweight thing, and hey, I'm the first one to admit the food's poison. The food is doing it to people. But yeah, the overweightness or like the obesity.
Then we get to Disney. And that's, I know that, like my friend on Discord last night was like, kind of, he knows me. He knows like why we went and all this kind of stuff, but it's still like giving me a hard time. It's like, you went to freaking Disney. You went to Disney. You're like going behind enemy lines. Why are you supporting them? And if it weren't for the credit card points, I'd like to say I wouldn't have gone. But who knows? But
I was going to try to keep my mouth shut, but Disney is in my list of probably 5 things I never want to do. Cook Thanksgiving dinner, go to Disney, put on virtual reality glasses. What's my other one, baby? I don't know. Those are the top 3 I know. No Disney, no cooking Thanksgiving, no virtual reality glasses. Go ahead.
And I think everybody is completely right to criticize me in that aspect.
I'm in the minority. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, you know, to the listener, yes, you're right. I'm part of the problem. But I went to Disney on my honeymoon. I went to Disney World on my sister's honeymoon. You know, it was always like growing up in the 80s, not being a wealthy kid, but living in a wealthy area and your neighbors going to Disney. I think to me that was always like, and then when I grow up, I'm going to Disney, you know?
Yeah.
So
now that my father's passed on, I just want to say, Dad, if you're listening, and I bet you are, my dad would always promise to take us to Disney, and that was one promise that was never fulfilled. Don't worry about it. Totally fine, Dad.
Once again, post-pandemic, a totally different experience. You roll in. I wasn't told once to have a magical day. Not once.
Once to have a magical day?
No. It's all through an app now. Do you have the app? Do you have the app? Do you have the app? It's
That
like,
is not magical. Hi, Lila. Sorry, I'm talking to my dog. I'm watching. I'm aggravated that no one told you to have a magical day, and I'm not even kidding. Because I know you work. I know it's not cheap to take your huge family there. Go ahead, go bitch about your Disney. I'm getting mad. We're gonna write a strongly worded letter. Go ahead.
oh, let me tell you about the survey that we took when we got home, but that's a whole other story. So it's all very like mechanical. So the place we were staying, if we were to pay out of pocket, it'd be $425 a night. We stayed at Fort Wilderness. Okay, we stayed in the cabins. We weren't like we didn't bring our own camper or anything like that. So, but because we had credit card points, of course, we weren't paying that huge amount of money. But when we got there, very unmagical. There was like trash around our cabin. There were bottles, beer cans. I sound like the biggest bitch right now.
No,
and I don't even care.
Mary, you really don't. And people, if they want to judge you, $425 isn't cheap. And you and your husband work hard and you've got children. You know what I mean? That's the American. You're not asking for a lot. Okay.
Oh.
You're not going everywhere, so you know what? Everyone, no one's judging you. And who cares if they are? That's their problem. Go ahead.
I do have to also say this. All right. So we canceled Disney
Oh, the
Plus.
male fairy godmother. Yeah, I read that. I saw that.
Also, like on YouTube, even before we went, we'd see like the Bippity Boppity Boutique or whatever it's called, where they get the little kids ready, dressed as princesses, like dudes in there dresses like women, getting children ready. So I was kind of wanting to see more of that when we went. But also another thing, real quick, another reason why we did pull the trigger and we were like, all right, you know what? Let's load up the family in our 15-passenger van. We're going to Disney, kids. Was not only because of the credit card points, but all over YouTube for months. Everybody's like, oh, Disney's dead. Oh, it's so dead. 4th of July weekend, wait times for rides were only, 5 minutes. Okay. So I kind of fell for it. I was like, yes, let's go to Disney now while it's dead. We go down there. And again, this was probably my 10th or 11th time going. I've never seen wait times as long. So I think seeing a lot of that all over YouTube.
I'm sorry, the apps aren't improving the wait times? You mean people are waiting longer with all these apps? Go ahead. I'm being sarcastic.
For that, I feel like that was marketing. It was a complete marketing scheme to get it's like, how much are these YouTubers that are putting out this content? They obviously work for the parks, but not only that, there's digital cues to wait for rides. So you have to wake up at 7 a.m, get on the app, and virtually wait for rides.
Mary, that is very unmagical. So I want you to go on. Joe can vouch for me. So during the medical psyop of 2020, during the lock, once things started allegedly waking up, it started opening up. One of the things I was obsessed with, and Joe will be my witness. So I'm never going to Disney, but one thing I used to love to do is watch people in their face diapers in 90-degree Florida heat bring their children to experience Disney. And I would comment and be like, you're all psychotic. You're all child abusers. What is wrong with you? You're waiting in line, but and wouldn't I call? I'd be so mad. Hi, sweetie. So that was one of the ways I would pass my time during the insanity of 2020 and 22 is I would watch people at Disney and then be like, what the hell is wrong with you people? But then again, you can turn it right back around on me. I'm the one watching it and commenting about them. But Mary, that is crazy. Did you hear her, hon? She has to wake up at 7 a.m. and then virtually wait in line for her ride. All right. How were the rides? I mean, I wouldn't go. Fun. Yeah, Jojo goes, sounds fun. I would never. This is me, Mary. I don't go away for amusement parks.
Okay, I do like.
What happened to him? No, I don't want him near my white dress.
As far as like before,
Pluto, he's a mess. He ran away. He's all covered in black. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well,
sorry, Mary. Mary's like,
no.
Faye, I'm bitching still. No,
I am, and I know I sound like a privileged, complete C word, but
why? Because you paid hard-earned money and you want what you pay for. What's wrong with that?
We really didn't anyway. But it's not the point. Is I hate to. Okay, Disney has always held a special place in my heart. I like the princesses. I like all that kind of crap. I collect Disney merchandise, or I have ever since I was a little kid. So I'm seeing the death of the parks. I'm seeing the death of the vision, the heteronormative. The dude comes and helps the chick out, the chick who is the heroine of her own story, and then she gets rewarded by finding the love of her life. The whole princess narrative used to be very idyllic. That was like the world that like every little girl wanted to live in, right? And then he's going to whisk you away to the castle and you're going to be queen. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that narrative. I have heard people criticize what's called princess programming. I don't think it comes from Disney. I think that comes from being raised as a spoiled ass brat and not being the one sitting at home with your 4 other siblings while your neighbor is going off to Disney, you know? So in defense of what used to be at Disney, that's what it used to be. Now it's all pride stuff, tons and tons.
So there was a lot of flags. What did you like? A lot of take your kids.
Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse dressed in pride stuff, waving a pride flag. There's walls that are painted with pride stuff. Okay, so back to what you were saying about. I know I'm like on.
No, please, Mary, go for it.
That's sorry.
Mental.
Okay, you talking about people going there, smacking a mask on their kid and walking around in what 90% humidity and everything that goes along with being in Disney. But now at Disney, in the parks, I saw a handful of little girls walking around in princess dresses. It's all adults that are dressed like trans anime wannabe characters. And for instance, my brother-in-law, he had to go get a pair of sandals for my niece. And my niece is very small. She's, how old is she? She's 7, I want to say. And so he's walking around looking for child-size sandals for my niece, and they were all adult sizes.
Do you think all the childs were sold out? Because that's very...
I think families are done with supporting the parks whatsoever. And I think it's being taken over by Arrested Development, grown-ass adults who want to wear Mickey Mouse ears and dress like weird anime characters and live in fantasy land.
So to break that down, who are mentally ill, if I can just interject a little quick story. I was on the dog bus with a woman who I like her very much. She's in her early 70s, and she gives me hope because she's so active. She's actually like dating and stuff. Well, that's another story. But we were driving through Salem, my Salem stories, and she was like, Faye, she was calling about like specific homeless people that we see on the regular driving around on the bus, and it's just heartbreaking. And just like and I'm like, it's mental illness. It's mental illness it's out of control. And I was talking to my sister earlier. I really think that mental illness right now is the norm, not the exception. So these poor kids, they're being raised. I shouldn't have said it before Convid. I always said it, didn't I, Joe? These kids are being raised in a mental institution, and I just, I wish I could zip my mouth back then, because now it's truer than ever. So go ahead. So yeah, so Disney is being turned into
I think
a
that
nightclub.
also it's also who the hell's the main character. Everybody out there thinks they're the main character. They are the most important person. And I was like I was saying to Joe, it's like walking with like, so you know how crowds move, that like usually the people coming this way are on the left of the people going this way. So it's like everybody kind of stays to the right, depending on what direction they're going. But people not even following that basic order, and it's like people walking right towards you, and they're just talking to their friend or whatever, and I'm watching these people waiting to see, are they going to move or walk into me. At this point, I always moved at the last minute because I don't want, people bumping into me or touching me, but it's like they're all the main character. They're all so special.
I mean, I think that you're the main character, and the universe be trolling you. But no, that's another thing I also said before COVID all the time, is everyone thinks they're the most important, and everyone thinks they're the smartest. And it's true. And I've kind of, I realize that every single person I ever talk to thinks they're smarter than me. It's fine. It's just whatever. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but I'll let them think what they want. Everyone thinks that.
Yeah. And so the lack of families, the lack of children there, the amount of adults, a lot of homosexual, like same-sex couples, I'll just say.
Are you saying there was more adults there than children at Disney? Hi, sweetie.
Oh, by a long shot.
Wow.
By a long shot. And so just overall, the difference between going there the last time in 2017 to going now, I'm seeing that customer service is dead, as many people know. And it doesn't even matter how much money you're spending. You're all going to get less than what you're paying for, and they're going to blame, oh, it's because of, the pandemic. It's like, what are you talking about? That was, first of all, that was 3 years ago. And second of all, even 3 years ago, like, don't even get me started. But the fact that you're using that to give me less than experience, less than customer service, that you're keeping me so far at arm's length that you're like, use the app, digital queue. They may as well have been saying over and over, social distance. So
Matt from Quantum did a quick video on Disney, and it was about some sort of like dragon, false fake fire or something, and it's destruction on purpose.
Wait, no.
So there was like some dragon. Huh, did you see that by Quantum of Conscience? It was a while ago, and it was some dragon caught on fire in Disney World, and some like big dragon statue, and it was a quick video. It's just destruction on purpose, just like they're destroying the movie industry, all of these favorite franchises. Of course, it's a war. You know what? My husband really has to rein me in, and so today he put me on check, and thank you. He's right there because I can blame certain groups or certain genders for all the problems, but it really is a war on the human race, and it is. And so, do you think you'll go back to Disney ever again?
I don't. It's hard for me. All right, I'll tell you why. It's hard for me to say no because in 2017 I swore it off, and yet I went back 5 years later. So RT is saying Epcot is more for adults, as Fantasyland is more for young children. I think you mean Magic Kingdom. And that's absolutely true. But I took my children to Cinderella's Royal Table, in it's like at the castle, Cinderella's castle in Disney. You go in there and you go up to the next floor, and you have a meal. It's a very special event, okay, or it's supposed to be. And it was so many like grown-ups. It was so many grown-ups and so few children. And then over in Epcot, it was the Food and Wine Festival. So there were a lot of adults there, and we also took part in the Food and Wine Festival because why not? And I mean, Epcot's great. I think Epcot is, take Disney out of it. The way that Epcot is set up, it could stand by itself,
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking Magic Kingdom, freaking nightmare. And that's what basically I was rating the whole that, and Fort Wilderness is what I was kind of judging my whole experience on, because the other parks honestly could just be standalone theme parks, so.
Did you make it over to Universal? I know that you were talking about going there.
No,
you didn't.
We never moved it over, because the reason why we didn't is because, once again, before we left, everybody was saying that Universal was packed and Disney is so empty. So we're like, let's take advantage of Disney being empty, And so we got screwed. But we went to the beer garden. Oh, that's Mike.
What did but okay, so it's not that I doubt anything you say. Like, did your two oldest notice, because they've been there before, and were they like, wow, this is really?
So that picture I sent you, and I'm not going to get into the overweight people.
Oh yeah, I know the picture you sent me.
I don't want it to be about overweight people, because we've covered this. People are being poisoned by their food. I mean, the amount of people needing like carts. What are those carts? Like, those small, you sit in them, you see them but the amount
of combination of Idiocracy and WALL-E. It's like,
that's seriously what I said. That's exactly what I said. I've never seen so many people needing to use carts in my whole life. And that was also very indicative of the time in which we're living. And I don't want to be like, it's gluttony, and I don't know what it is. I think literally people are being poisoned. But what really stood out to me with people in the parks is their weird kind of look at me mentalities and the clothes they were wearing. They just kind of no self-respect. And I know that's judging, but they don't appear to have any self-respect with the way that they're presenting themselves to the public. So
I go back and forth. Like, I don't want to be too judgmental. I'm thinking with this, but clearly people are looking for attention. I mean, if you're wearing like, you're wearing an outfit that says, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I mean, you know how I am. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Most of my interactions with the public start with, and he was wearing a shirt that said, it's like, you're wearing a shirt that says something,
So that picture was what my nephew.
Are you going to show the picture? Show the picture. Oh, come on, show the picture.
No, I can't. I can't, because it does seem like we're like being mean because the girl is obscenely overweight, but it wasn't about that so much.
I didn't even think she was that bad overweight.
She wasn't.
I mean,
I don't think she had a
bad for these days.
She didn't need a cart. I know that she was on her own, there of her own volition.
I mean, really, that's the standard now. Like, if you can literally walk, you're not. It's bad. It's something else. It's we all need Jesus, but the churches are in on it, so we all need.
So, to answer your question, what did my children take away from it? The older ones, especially, exactly what I'm saying. They were on board, less scandalized, I will say, than how I'm viewing it, because they're now becoming a little desensitized to it, even though they do see it. It's not like shocking to them. Whereas to me, I'm like, what's happening? Where are the families? Where are the children? Everybody being there to make it an experience for children that they'll always remember, children and families.
Yeah.
So they saw that whole aspect. What was the other thing that you, so I had something else, but now I lost it. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. So what was your high and low of your vacation?
To be honest, the best time was us hanging out at the cabins, my sister's family and my family at night. That was the best times. But I will say, the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride was freaking mind blowing. It was probably the best roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. I get off of it. I'm with my family. I'm like, guys, that was beautiful. And we're all super enthusiastic. And then I'm looking around at everybody else getting off the ride, and they're just blank, just no expression whatsoever, and then pull out their phone. And I was saying to my daughter, if I had created such a wonderful experience for people, and that's what I was seeing getting off of my ride, I'd be like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not wasting my time. So there was that. Also, the Rebellion Star Wars ride was also next level. It was next level.
It's like 3D virtual reality. Like,
no,
I used to love Star Wars.
Yeah,
I like the old. I mean, obviously, you always like it, but I haven't watched any of the new stuff like Rogue One or anything.
I think it's called The Rise of the Rebellion, I want to say. It was so awesome. Like, they put you in one spaceship. I don't know what the hell happens, but then they open the doors, guys. And literally, there's like a actor or an actress there. Some of the actors are really into it, but then others are like, I'm here from the rebellion to save you. Come with me. It's like, where's your zest? But some of them are really good. So the doors open, and there was this woman standing there, and she was dressed like the bad guys, but not a stormtrooper, like people on the way that people on Darth Vader's ship were dressed. And she like says something, but from where we left was like outside, and then all of a sudden the doors open, and it's marble black floors, all stormtroopers around you.
That's
and it's so cool. It was cool.
Yeah,
so
I'm not into that. Like, Eileen, my sisters always want us to go to Universal, and I'm not going. I don't travel for theme parks. That's not what I do. But you do. But I've always said, Joe, if you want to take the kids, go for it.
Yeah.
But they never have. So you said the best part of the trip was hanging out with your family at the cabin. I only travel for natural wonders. If there's not like a beautiful beach, a beautiful river, a beautiful cliff, a beautiful something, I'm not going. If there happens to be like a nice like theme park experience near it, I might check it out, but I go for natural wonders, I guess. Fluffy Mancoon.
It was an Imperial officer. Sorry about that, Mike. But yeah, so natural wonders.
Yeah. So that was your high point. At least the rides were good.
There was a couple of great rides. And I will say, hanging out at the cabins, and my nephew, who is a comic genius, doing impressions of all of us.
Spring break. They used to call him Spring Break.
Yep.
I love it. Whenever I see him, I'm like, oh my God, you look like you should be on the cover of Teen Beat magazine. He does.
So anyway, I mean, our family time was amazing.
That's great.
And that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. But we could have done that in New Hampshire.
But you can do that for cheaper in New Hampshire, or I've never been. We live in Massachusetts, Mira. I've never been to Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard. Like, I just, there's so much to see around where we live, because I'm not really feeling the plain vibe these days either. It's just such they're making it so. Even the thought of it is a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? So. It's like once you get to the seat and you get there, it's fine. But I don't know. So what else?
I just came away, which, I mean, it's not the first time I've felt this way, but.
Wait, thank you. My dog just gave me a leaf. That was very nice. Get away from my white dress. You're filthy. Anyway.
Yeah, driving home, and granted it was 95. So you're hitting basically every major city. I'm starting to realize we're very, very populated on the East Coast here. And I don't want to be in an emergency.
I love you, but you can't. You're ruining my. Sorry, Mary.
Yeah, I don't want to be in an emergency situation with any of these people. I mean,
I know.
I don't trust other people.
I know.
I used
to. They're not trustworthy. Okay, they proved that during the medical psyop. Go away. Get this in. I'll put them back on. My dog's trying to get my son. Oh no! Get that, honey. Oh my god! It's you, Mary. It's never the dogs I'm watching. It's always my dog. It's the biggest pain. Mary, I'm with you 100%. It started with COVID. These people, they can't be trusted. And the new one for me, so Convid or the medical psyop proved that we're dealing with some sort of NPC. We can argue all day about what is really going on. They'll kill you for $5. They proved that during the whole wear a mask in the supermarket thing. They'll murder. They don't care. There's no love. The love of many will wax cold, the Bible says. I struggle with it. Like, it's really hard to love your neighbor these days. And but the big one for me lately is what absolutely brought me over the finish line with the NPC theory. And again, I don't know what it is or who they are, but this whole transgender thing. There is no way there was that many people that were like, I'm in the wrong body. I'm the different gender. Literally, the TV told you it was popular. And you're like, yeah, the TV said. I don't know what to do with these people. It's not real. My daughter, again, I don't think the schools push. The school's not really pushing it, but because the media is making it trendy, my sister and my son know a couple kids that now go by they, them. Mm-hmm. So I had at dinner, I taught them the whole not applicable thing, N/A. I said, if anyone asks you your pronouns, it's N/A. It's not, this doesn't apply to me. Not applicable. That's our pronouns. Not applicable. You guys have your fantasy crazy land. I don't want any part of it. That was long-winded. But Mary, I don't want to be in an emergency with these people either.
I guess on Friday there was a streamer who decided he was going to give away gift cards in New York City, something square. I forget the name of it.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. He got my chapstick. I knew he got something. Sorry, Mary. My dog just stole my cotton candy chapstick, and it's brand new. Go ahead.
No, I'm struggling to remember the specifics of the event. It was in New York. It wasn't like Central Park or something. It was like some area in New York City. And it was about, shockingly, about 65,000 young people showed up. And it basically turned into a riot because these kids wanted free gift cards. It was like a level 4 emergency response. It's like
free gift cards to what?
Gift cards. It was gift cards for. He was a Twitch streamer, so probably like gift cards to Twitch, video games. I think one of the promises was one of the. He was going to be giving away PS5s, all this stuff. So 65,000 people show up, and it turned into a freaking riot. I mean, shocker.
Where was this?
New York City. And that's like another thing. It's like you're looking at these young people, and I don't want to say they're unhinged because I don't think that's fair. I think these kids need a cause so desperately that it's misappropriate. Like,
come on,
Joe.
That's our dog. They're going to be given a cause. All right.
There's no way.
No, it's going to be artificial because these people are so stupid. They're going to do whatever they're told. I don't know where it's going, but
Yeah.
This is a place we've talked about it before. That basically heaven meets hell, and what's been getting me through my days is trying to focus on the heaven, and there's plenty of it. Mary, like the rabbit holes that we were down a few weeks ago that we talked about with these, like I don't even want to bring up their names. It was very dark, and it was kind of like putting me in a bad mood. It was like I made the decision not to look at them anymore, and I feel better. Like I'm really trying to focus on the heaven in this world, and it works. I'm not saying I'm never going to have problems again. You know what I mean? And I'm never going to say that this crap can't knock on my door like it did with the fake pandemic. That's when my eyelashes fell out. I'm sorry. When you knock on my door and you have a big fake sickness, tell my kids that their dirty, disgusting faces and breath are like, it was too much. So yeah, my eyelashes fell out. They've grown back. I'm having a respite and I'm going to enjoy it. But we have to focus on the heaven. And Mary, the good news for us is that if the shit goes down, we have a big family. We can all meet here. We'll meet somewhere.
If it all goes down. Okay. This is the other thing that
wait.
Is that still the dog?
It's after my
How about if I come over and I just put your dog in the house? I'm like, all right, you're done, Ludo.
But then he won't be with his friends, the two good ones I'm watching, the ones that pay me.
This is going to sound really hypocritical. But there have been several times since 2020, especially. I'm going to say right now, it's like so bizarre out there that it's like I felt like shouting at people. We are living in a society. We're living in a society, people. But it's like the I don't want to say narcissism because that's thrown around way too much. The self-centeredness. They're all the main character. I heard one girl, she was behind us and we're in the group, and I thought she was maybe doing a vlog, the way that she was talking and just a monologue, and the way she was using her voice, it sounded very vloggy. I turned around because I wanted to also get my kids out of the way because I didn't want my kids in her vlog. But I turned around, she's talking to her boyfriend. It's like literally you talk to your boyfriend like that. It's like everybody's putting on this voice, which is that female voice from TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok. I mean,
it's everywhere.
Like the robot voice. Like
yes, it's the female voice. You know it, and everybody's like talking to one another with that voice now. I'm losing it, Faye. I'm losing it.
Well, Mary, there's a lot to lose it about. It's not pleasant. I'm out there and I'm driving around. Why do you think I work with dogs? I have to. It's the only way. I'm out in nature. I'm out with my dogs. My kids are healthy. Thank God. It's something else. It really is.
Oh. Hold on. There's a huge rave tomorrow night on Long Island.
A rave? Who's going to a rave on Long Island? Is that Ray?
Yeah.
I got to hang out with Ray. I love Ray so much. Ray was over here and he's so talented. He's doing a rap battle. Good luck, Ray. Remember my advice from your oldest sister. He's so good. He's going to have a great time.
That's awesome. Watch out for the Long Island serial killer, guys. No, he's been captured.
Didn't they catch that guy?
Yeah, they did, supposedly. But anyway, so it does sound hypocritical for somebody who is completely opted out of living in society to wonder why people don't realize we're living in a society. But I'm just talking about basics. Keep to the right. Keep the walking traffic to the right, going up and down stairs, escalators, hallways, theme parks. To me, that's just like basic, but everybody's like all confused, looking at their phone and not paying any attention. Nobody's living in the moment. That's the other thing that I noticed. Because again, the theme parks are very expensive. Maybe families have been priced out. I don't know. But
that
they
could
are
be
very,
it, Mary. That's a really, don't go by that too fast. That's
sure.
a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. But nobody, it seems like nobody there is living in the moment. Everybody's either viewing it through a screen instead of entirely what's around them. They're just looking at their phone. It's like you could have stayed at home and done that and not spent all this money. So I don't know. I seriously came home. I was saying to your husband before we went live, I can't believe I've almost been home for a week because I feel like I got home, came up to my room, shut the door, and stayed here decompressing for the last 5 days. That's how I feel. Granted, I
feel like any road trip with 8 kids, you would have done that in any time or place. That's just me.
I have, but actually.
I bet you have. Did your sister, who is an amazing, did she have any choice wisdom on this trip? I bet she did. What did she have to say?
First of all, she didn't want to go to the parks. That was my fault.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was my fault. She's like, there's no way I'm giving them a cent of my money. And then, of course, me and my husband are like, all right, we'll come on vacation. And like, the thing about us is for us to travel as a party, we're a party of 17. So we need like 3 cabins. We need 3 golf carts to get us all from here to there. 17 reservations, which we split up. Like when we went to the Royal Table, she went to the Beauty and the Beast. I forget what they call it. That and then so like she didn't want to give.
Sorry.
Look at him.
He never stops. Because he knows I have my white dress on.
So I feel like her experience was more like, see, this is why I didn't want to give them a cent of my money, Mary, you know, whereas I'm like, let's go to the parks. My daughters are going to dress as princesses. My 13-year-old daughter wore a princess dress. Okay. She wore a princess dress. So everybody but my almost 17-year-old daughter was dressed up, but that's because the cutoff for princess dresses is 15. All right.
Is that the official cutoff or is that your cutoff?
The parks cutoff. And like, I wanted it to be wholesome. I wanted it to be fun. We did have fun, but that wasn't thanks to Disney, and it wasn't wholesome. It really wasn't. It wasn't family friendly. It was weird. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I already said it.
You need to understand that on the White House lawn, a tranny flashed his fake silicone bare breasts and jiggled them in front of the camera. That I feel like people just kind of skim by that. That happened on the White House lawn. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know why people are voting. I don't know what's going on, but I know that I want no part of it. I'm hanging out with Glitchy tomorrow. I'm sure she's going to talk about the importance of the next election. I'm not going to put up with it. We're going to the beach, and she's not going to ruin my beach day with her Trump card talk. I'm going to be. I can't.
There's so much. We're being inundated. Also, hold on. One other thing. Driving home, and yes, Frank. Truth. But anyway, driving home, we were driving through that weather. You know, there was tornadoes all up and down the East Coast. And then when we got home Monday, our area got severely flooded. There was a tornado in Massachusetts. So we're watching the weather act crazy. And then we're watching like the news, right? Not you know what I'm saying, like Trump, or you're going to have to deal with your friend who watches the news. She's going to try to download onto you. And then we're looking around at what's actually physically going on around us. And it's like total burnout. Isn't there? It's like I'm burnt out. I don't want to hear any of this. I want to just like can my tomatoes that I'm getting from my garden. Right. That's all I want to do. I don't want to deal with it.
People are definitely maxed out. People are working really hard. it's psychological abuse, and it's never ending. And like you said, it's coming from all angles. I said that COVID was a psychological war, World War III, and I wasn't wrong. But it's been going on for as long as I mean, recorded history. I guess what is real with history.
Yeah.
It's it's not easy being a human. You better get permission, fill out this slip, and get on, and you better get on that waiting list at 7 a.m. for the vacation you're paying $500 a night for. 7 a.m, get on the list.
Yeah. 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 With everything, also, like, I don't know if there is something to what can be gleaned through the official narrative of history, is we are a civilization in complete decline.
Yeah.
In complete decline. I mean, right now, if they try to even pull this WW3 bullcrap on us, nobody's going. Who's going?
My kids aren't going.
You know that song Zoran Zam by the Monkees? It would literally be like that,
I don't know that song.
Oh, it's the King of Zor. He called for a war, and the King of Zam, he answered. But basically, nobody shows up for the war.
Oh, no one's showing up. That's why it's a psychological war, because they know no one's showing up.
They couldn't pull it off.
If they're giving free cheeseburgers and gift cards, then maybe people will show up, because people are so stupid. And that's Mary, you know what? We really glossed over the fact, and I didn't see any other truther. And I'm not saying like we're like the truther, super duper truthers, but a few streams back, a few months ago, like that, when we analyzed those military recruitment ads, and sometimes I'll just like be walking outside and I'll be reminiscing on that, and those girls look like they were in 6th grade. It was all girls, and they looked like they hadn't graduated high school in the United States military recruitment ads.
Oh, right.
I didn't see anyone else mention that. It was very They're not getting my daughter. I'll tell you that. They're not getting my son either. They're not getting anything with they're not. Who are they at war at? It's clearly a one world system.
I saw a very interesting video today on Twitter, which was some sort of a
I'm sorry, just laughing. Mary, how is your Twitter account going that you just started?
I didn't start it. I'm a lurker. But anyway, it was in Kyiv, and it's a beautiful like not beachfront. It's like an exclusive like pool in Kiev.
Yeah,
and
Kiev will be the next Croatia in a year and a half.
We're spending all this money, but everybody is just chilling by the pool, wearing their thongs, and having a great time with their drinks. It's like, wait, I thought you were war torn.
Yeah, it's gaslighting, and then you're taking your family on an actual trip down the East Coast and walking through homeless encampments.
Yes.
It's and like you said, how much money are we sending over there? I know it's a one world system, but and I get my friend in Spain right now. Huh? Did you talk to him at all? He looked like he was having a blast in Spain.
Ooh.
Southern Spain, our good friends. Yeah, he looked like he was having a blast. But it's like America really is like maybe we're paying for a love of money. Let's face it, all of our ancestors came here to make a buck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Who's in for a surprise? Somebody's in for a surprise, Frank. Frank says, so you're in for a surprise. Ooh. I want to know it.
I don't like surprises, but
I don't know. So Frank is saying we're going to enter into the greatest season of war ever. See, I don't doubt this. I think it's going to be a lot of revolutions first. Just in my opinion, we're going to see basically the same pattern that we've seen all through history, which is, revolution, then wars, then, something's wrong. That's all I know. Something is seriously wrong, and you can feel it.
It's mental illness. And Mary, you said, I forget how you said it, but you said if God doesn't step in soon, and I do believe He has with the Mandela effect and stuff like that. But I do believe God has stepped in and steps in daily. But you said He'll have to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah if He doesn't, because it's getting to the point like if you're a child and someone's cutting off your penis and throwing a mask on you for 8 hours a day, that's not free will. That's worse than any. That's worse or as the same as any lab rat born into a mad scientist laboratory. That's some effed up stuff. I'm sorry. Did you freeze? You agree?
No, I didn't freeze. My computer went into. I may have froze. Sorry, I was just listening to you. Yeah, I mean, right now everything feels weird, and don't think that I haven't taken the time to realize my age also in all of this. And like, every generation probably goes through this, but it feels so different. It's not the same world that it was 5 years ago. And sometimes I feel like that Faye and I come across as like Victorians, like very like proper. We're not like we're not that freaking proper, but yet at the same time, there's something seriously wrong with the way that people are presenting themselves in public. The way, like at this point, just walk around naked. Everybody, let's just take off all.
Well, they are on the White House lawn. That is such a like. We can't gloss over that. I mean, I'm not political, but like that was an act of war, an act of psychological war. And we could probably make a big list of all the acts of psychological war. The new term is gaslighting, but it's just psychological abuse over and over and over again. It's terrible. Bailey, come here, baby. Sorry, hon. But that's why I'm trying to IRL focus on the heaven in this world, which is because I was saying to my daughter, I get along, I walk and I drive a lot, and there's always this like I say to my daughter, it's almost like deja vu because she hears it every time. We're doing the bus together. Hi, Bailey, good girl.
That's
and
nice.
It's been going really great. And Mary, thank you for saying $20. I was being such a cheapskate. Now her like money's adding up. But I was being so cheap with my daughter. Thanks, Mary, for calling me out on that. So she makes her $20 on every trip. But I say to her, it's almost like deja vu because as we drive, especially on the beautiful days, I'm like, have you noticed that the flowers this summer are out of control? They're so vibrant. I feel like so many summers by this time, and flowers because you own
These
a flower.
These are from my garden, my beautiful zinnias. Look at them; they're huge.
They're absolutely gorgeous. So you're gonna be to say by this time in our area, climate change, whatever they're calling it. But by this time, it's like the weather gets like so hot that by this time everything's either blue or green. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily dry, but like all the flowers dry out and it's just summer gets really like just blue sky and green and the flowers like budded but the flowers are just hanging on and looking so good this summer, in my opinion, and yours are proving my point.
Yeah, but that has to do that we've had a very wet summer. We've had so much rain. We never went into drought.
I agree with you. I think that God and nature is just showing off because we're faced with such ugliness and confusion that I get out in nature every day and it's beautiful. Every day I do.
Wait, I want to hear more. Seismic frequencies coming off the colors. I love plants. Guys, I know I've been venting this whole time for an hour now, but so we got squash bugs in my garden. So there will be no freaking, they're awful. They're disgusting. But anyway, squash bugs. So no summer squash, no zucchini, no winter squash. It was all very, very sad for me. But my flowers, they're doing, you guys should see my marigolds. My marigolds look like bushes at this point. My sunflowers so I ordered what were called blue sunflowers. It turns out they're not blue, but they're gorgeous. They're not mammoth. They're just like the ones that are like this big. But then in the front of the garden, I have my mammoth sunflowers, my cosmos. The flowers are really spectacular. So I hear what you're saying, Faye. I definitely hear it.
I drive, and I'm telling you, I'm not a spring chicken, and I know many summers. And by this time, I love summer, but by the end of summer, it's like all the flowers. It's not that they died; it's just it's not their season. You know what I mean? They dried out, and they'll be back in the spring and the beginning of summer, but they're still vibrant and beautiful. I discovered, Mary, next time, if you need a break from the 8 kids and you want to come up here soon, I discovered this new farm place, Mary, that I want to take you to.
Yeah,
it's this farm stand. I won't like tell where I am, but next time you come up, it's amazing. So
yeah,
but that's where we live. We live in a beautiful spot. Lena and I just drive around. I'm like, it's beautiful here.
yeah. It really is. So sorry, that word I said wrong. It's semantics. Semantics. Wait. It's not the same as semantics.
Semantics.
Anyway, words are hard.
The English language. That's not by accident. It's semantics and semantics.
Yeah, right.
They're connected. That's the English spellcraft.
But yeah, so the time marches on where my front hall is filled with boxes of next year's curriculum, and I'm sending my son off to Mass Maritime Academy on the 20th, and with his cousin, they'll be together and have each other, and it's mind-blowing. It really is, the way that the days are long, but the years are short, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to say it. And that's your baby, and that's your sister's baby. They'll have each other. The girls are going to go crazy for both of them, because not only are they handsome, but they have like real personalities, and they're going to be presented with a lot of vapid, stupid people, as we both were in college.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot of prayer, and I'm glad they have each other. I have no intention of sending this is my son's senior year. He had the best basketball game. I feel like he just did so good. He's 11, and I hope that these creatures don't ruin his senior year. He doesn't want to go away to school, and I don't really want him to go away to school. He's probably going to do either a trade. He's going to do what he wants to do, and we'll support him. But
Right.
because he was pulled out for 2 years, I'm like, take some classes at like Salem State or something, and
I've always said there's no way I'm sending my children to those whorehouses that they call dorms, and like, yeah, but then my son's like, I want to go into the Merchant Marines, and it's like
they're gonna live their own lives, and eventually it's in God's. He's gonna do great. He's just too handsome, and these bimbos are gonna be all over him. Sorry, Mary.
I know. Him and his cousin, seriously, they're so handsome and they're so wholesome. And I know that they're going to be under spiritual attack constantly, and it's hard.
This is the thing. I don't like the way that this is another problem with the whole comment thing. Everyone's doubling down about college. It's like the algorithm knows that my children are getting close to that age. It's like, college savings, help your kids pay for college, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, everything I learned in college was a lie. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm making more money now taking care of dogs than anything I did in college, My daughter loves it. My daughter loves the dog thing. I'm like, Lena, you can totally stay out of debt, and in Massachusetts make a ton of. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, honey. Now, hi, everybody. Joe, thanks, Joe. Thank you. There's a lot.
Next hour, let's go.
Joe. Joe super hugged me, and that's good. That's better.
So hold on with that also. Yeah, I think it's. Oh, crap! I forgot what I was going to say. So go ahead. Sorry.
I forget.
Oh, with the trades, go into the trades. And this is what I've always also supported my children in doing. But I will say, my son was able to pay for his first year at Mass Maritime by himself. No loans or anything, because I made him get a job. I was like, bro, no, you need a job, you know? So,
oh, that's what I was saying about Lena. Lena, my daughter is 15. She's loving doing the bus, because who wouldn't, as a first-time job, like being on a dog bus. And she's met my boss, who my boss was very far ahead of her time. There's a lot of TikToks and stuff with dog buses and stuff, and my boss was doing that years ahead of the game. It's a lot, babe, with that light. Okay, it's going over there. But anyway, so my daughter's like, I'm just like, sweetie, like, there's a lot of dogs that need a lot of care in Massachusetts. Just, just save money, live at home, and that's that's how we are, Mary. Save your money, live at home. That's all we say.
You know what?
Yeah.
When I think that comes from when our parents were very young. I don't know if you know this story. This is really depressing. And Frank and Fluffy, I hope you're all being nice. I know that Frank is always very nice. They're going back and forth about the Jews and scripture and things like that. I just honestly don't know how much maybe Mike knows about this. So just putting that out there. Be nice. But
they're both so beyond the small hats on this channel.
They're both very civilized. But so when we were young, when our parents were young, we had Papa, and Papa was a bit of a gambler. Sorry, my hair is getting all crazy.
And a philanderer. Sorry.
He was a philanderer. A bit of a gambler, and one of his friends wanted him to come to one of the racetracks, of course, put money on the dogs. And he kept, I know, Franco, but he kept saying, bring the kids. He kept saying there's, he didn't say an amusement park, but he was like, there's an attraction across the street for the kids. I
remember this story.
So forever, Papa would say to the kids, save your money for the rides. Save your money for the rides, because he was going to take all the kids to go to the amusement park in his mind, and he was going to spend the day gambling. Anyway, Papa gets there. All the kids saved their money for the rides. They had their, change in tow. And then it turns out it was just a crappy park, like a playground across the street. And Papa still left them there. So sad.
Different generation.
Yeah.
I heard the story, but my dad would still take me to see Papa once a year with his new girlfriend. I don't even know if they ever got married, but
oh, I don't either. I know that
I heard it was scandalous, because like we thought that Papa had his second wife. I heard through the grapevine they never even got married. You never heard that?
See, this is why Faye and I are very we come across as like Puritans. We've been sheltered. Our parents, scandal. In the way we grew up, scandal was like a real thing. You don't bring scandal, you don't gossip, you don't do this, it was like all very like, nope, this is the Christian way of life. So no, I never heard that. But now that you mention it, it's like, yeah. Was her last name Morrissey? I don't think so.
I don't think it was. She was such a sucker, though, because I would go over there and I don't know how it was when we weren't there, but let me tell you, he would be sitting at the table smoking his cigarettes, and she would just be cooking for him, and like it's like
he smoked. He chain smoked Lucky's, and shocker, he died of tongue cancer. So that was nice. But I think he dealt with severe guilt also about what happened, because no, he did. He left his job. He had a fabulous career, but we'll talk about this offline. Right? Nobody cares about Papa except for us. We love Papa.
Yeah, we do. And I think about my family a lot. My mother's side too. And you know that my mother's parents, I don't know if she's listening. They were one of those couple that were married twice. They got married, they got divorced, and they got married again.
Oh.
I always thought those couples were interesting. To me, that seems like a lot of effort, but you hear about those couples.
Yeah, no, what I think that is, oh yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do better than, this crappy marriage. And then you go out there and you realize, no, I'm going home. I'm going home. Forget this.
So
anyway. So yeah. So you also, with all of this, you were telling me that you're watching your guilty pleasure. Do you want to talk about that?
So I almost texted you and I was almost going to tell you to not put it in title. It's embarrassing, but I'll mention a couple things. So I've been watching on Thursdays on HBO Max Sex and the City. Because in my 20s or I would watch that show all the time in 30s, whatever it is. Hi, you're back. So anyway, and it's everyone knows Sex. It's a huge Mandela effect.
Sex in the City versus Sex and the City.
It's in my top 10. I know that show. My husband knows I know what's that show. My Joe used to call it Sluts in the City, and he is a nice guy. Remember, I was like, Joe never calls girls sluts, but when it came to Sluts in the City, he was right.
I didn't watch it. Even I was in my 20s also, but I knew it had nudity, and it
was more than just nudity.
Nope. Hold on.
I watched it because it was an entertaining show. So excuse me. Now they're doing the spin-off on HBO Max. So of course I have to tune in. The gaslighting is off the rails for the Mandela effect. It's like she does her new show, and Carrie, who might be the devil's wife. I'm not, or devil's tranny husband. I don't know. She's a terrible person. She's terrible. But I'm not. I'm talking about
in real life.
Sarah Jessica Parker, and I'm saying in my humble opinion, it's like, man, this is really humble. But in my humble opinion, in real life and on the show, she's terrible, and everything's being revealed in the apocalypse. But they gaslight people so bad because, back in the old season, it was called Sex and the City. But then she had her show called Sex in the City, and just gaslighting over and over again. Yeah.
Wait, no. So they're trying to combine both of them in the new series? It wasn't a Mandela effect? Is that what you're saying?
Nathan Sanders had a really quick thing that they mentioned. There's one of the actresses that didn't take part in the new one, and her name is I believe Kim Cattrall.
That's because she's $1 million at this point, but yeah.
Well, they're all $1 million at this point, Mary. So that has nothing to do with it. Believe me, she might be $1 million, but she still looks better than all three of them, as she always has. She's always been the best looking one, in my opinion. I think that she's just too spiritual to deal with these people, and I'm dead serious. These people are the show is gaslighting the Mandela effect all day, every day. But there was one scene, Mary, that kind of went back to what you and I were talking about a few weeks ago with the girls and the sleeping around and everything. And I was so appalled by it. Can I share that?
Yeah, that's what yes,
yeah.
Please.
So there's so much, guys, and I am embarrassed for watching it, but the clothes and the scenery are good. So it's not a pleasure. It used to be a guilty pleasure. Now it's just, I'm just guilty and doing research. So one of the mothers in the show, Kristen Stewart is her name, and she's married to this troll cuck. And I'm sorry, I don't think all men are cucks. I'm not one of those people, but he is a cuck because the 16-year-old daughter comes up to her mother in the show, and they're very, very, Mary, you like this world, privileged. And she sings a song about being privileged. They literally live on Park Avenue.
Right. And this is Charlotte, right? Charlotte.
Yeah.
And they're the Hasidic Jews. So they're the religious aspect of the show also.
Literally. And he's such a troll. I'm sorry. It's I'm old school, ladies. I don't care how much money you have. You still have to be cute in my world. But anyway,
hold on. I said Hasidic, but they're conservative. They're the religious element of the show also.
Well, I bet you that I'm sure no real Jews or conservative Jews are watching this, but if they were, they would be appalled too. So anyway, her 16-year-old daughter, adopted daughter, she's Asian, comes up to her, and just nonchalantly says to her mom and dad, 16, Joe's right over there. Joe, I just want you to remember that Lena's going to be 16 in March, okay? Noted. She goes, I'm going to have sex with my boyfriend. And
Hell no.
no one blinks an eye. The cuck husband goes, oh, this isn't a conversation for me, walks out. The mother walks out just like, oh, you feel like you're ready? Great. Well, I'm going to need to get you condoms. Not one. There's no, I mean, obviously I'm not looking for spirituality in this show, okay, Mary? But this might be why and where we're at. There's two different societies going on, because if my daughter, first of all, my daughter's not coming up to me at 16 to say that. Anyway, the long story short, there's a snowstorm on the show, and Charlotte, she just doesn't have condoms. Mom, I need condoms. I'm going to have sex for the first time with my boyfriend. And Charlotte treks out in her designer snowsuit and finds condoms for her 16-year-old daughter. Goes to the thing, knocks on the door, gives her condoms. There's no talk. Okay, so that's terrible as it is. Next week, there's a next episode. And wouldn't you know, they never talk about it. But Charlotte says to her husband, we have to get Lily a pizza because her boyfriend broke up with her 2 weeks ago. And they just gloss over it. And so this is what they do, Mary. This is what they do. And this is why Johnny Depp's daughter, a few months back, remember I was like, why is Johnny Depp's daughter being a complete porn star hoe bag in this? You don't need to do that. You're Johnny Depp's daughter. Like, why are you doing this? Because this is what they do. I believe their life is an orgy, Mary, and it's very foreign to us. And they're showing their cards with Johnny Depp's daughter, like being in porn. It's like you're A-list. Like, you could just be like, I'm Johnny Depp's daughter. I want to be in the star of this movie. You'll get it. You don't have to take off your clothes. But she's doing it because this is what they do.
Yeah.
And that's what Sex in the City is showing. This is what they do as soon as probably prepubescent.
Oh man. And my daughter is, God willing, going to be 17 a month from today. And no, first of all, I feel like we have a very open relationship, but she's not coming to me being like, Mom, get condoms for my crappy boyfriend, please. That's never going to happen. So that whole, we have such an open relationship. It's like, no, that's just weird. And the fact that then she put out for her boyfriend and then he broke up with her, and that was a conversation piece.
Yep. The mother never asked who he was. She never asked anything. Like just so imagine your daughter coming up to you. This is what was represented. Oh, it's 16 years old. Oh, you're gonna have sex? I'll go get you condoms. Like nothing. And the next one, he broke up with her. Hi, sweetie. So there's so much I could share. It's
normalizing all of this stuff, because remember we had Beverly Hills 90210 back in our day, and we would watch it and remember all the pressure. You have to have, sex at the prom. That was like major programming for us, like sex at the prom. Sex at the prom.
Like a prom dress. That was like,
yes,
prom dress. It's like I remember hearing that. I was like, wait, I'm going to the prom. It's my dress. What?
I went to my prom with a really good friend, and it was probably because I was like, wait, I don't want to do that at prom.
We're starting to go down our Puritan slip again, but I thought that was pretty telling about Sex in the City for the mother to not even ask her question. Another triggering one. There's so much, and I could literally break it down, but they all have new black best friends, of course.
Oh yeah, you said that.
It's so trendy to have a new friend of color, and this was there was one scene where these totally fake rich actors, they're rich on the show, but you can tell they're just actors struggling, and they just joked like, oh, I just paid to get a table, and she was like, how much was the table? And he goes, oh, well, so-and-so won't go to college, talking about their kids. And they're like, ha, ha. And it's like we just talked about, like, college isn't worth the money. B, a lot of families, including mine, it's like, I can't pay for my kids to go to college. It was very, like, gaslighting. You know, I'm going to help my kids any way I can. But I don't know if I explained it right, but it was kind of like they were laughing at the American people. Like, oh, your kids aren't going to college? Ha! And it's just, like, it's
As
like,
everybody wakes up to the fact that it's a huge scam.
that it's a scam, and that you can literally with this phone, with my phone, guys, here, you can have it for $25 for an hour. You can learn anything. You want to learn anything for free? Here it is. So it's it's crazy, but like this, I felt like they were laughing at us. There's so much more. Sorry, but we don't need to talk about it.
Are you Canadian? Every other everything you say, you're like, whoa. Sorry. Like, you're good, Faye.
I don't know.
Sorry. Don't be sorry, Faye.
I'm drinking, and people can judge me for that. But if you're not drinking in this world, then I give you credit. Oh. And plus, it's Fridays. If we did our streams on Monday, it would be a much different story. It'd be very serious.
No, I keep freezing. It's fine.
Yeah, we should probably. I don't mind if we wrap it up. I got my 2 dogs. I have a very important dog I'm watching. Her very important dad will be picking her up soon.
All right. We have to say hello to the chat. All right. So Frank and Mike are still going back and forth. Frank always cracks me up. And then we have Boston Ray. Boston Ray wants to know, what does the Bible say about condoms? Oh, no, Ray.
I don't know, but it's probably Mandela affected Ray. I actually don't think it says anything about condoms.
So RT was here earlier. He also thought that Disney with his children was a wonderful experience back in the day. I think it was RT that talks about his dad. He has a picture of his dad at Disney. Was that you?
I heard RT on Brian, and that was a really great phone call, Brian. RT, about the crazy call you got from the CDC. There's not a lot of people I miss, and Brian's not one of them, and that was a really good call. So
wait, the CDC?
The CDC gave him like a recording and wanted to know if he had any children in the house. I don't want to put words in your mouth, RT, but
sure.
Yeah, he called into Brian about it, and it was a great call as always.
Yeah. Also, everybody has to be careful of scams. There's a lot of like scams going on, and they like, I don't you know what? I'll have to go back and listen to it, but wanting you to give out like personal information.
Don't ever give out personal information.
Yeah.
Even if it sounds like it's your mother, like with this voice technology, if someone calls you, no, don't give out anything.
Mm-hmm. Also the fact that he finally replaced his Toyota Sequoia, which had 385,000 miles on it. Now, I will say I'm all about Ford in my house. Only because my husband didn't buy me that land, the Land Rover. So we have Ford.
Ooh, but Joe says Ford stands for found on road dead.
Joe, be nice. But
not the people.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Oh yeah, the car dying. Yeah, probably. But we had a Toyota Sienna, which was probably one of the best cars I've ever owned, and my sister too. So I hear you there.
Marla, you're fine.
Hold on. Sorry, Faye. We can't just like blow everybody off. So Home Bliss. Faye, this is for you. What? Who showed boobies? She's talking about who?
The tranny on the White House lawn literally showed her, it was naked silicone breasts, and she took them and she went like this. It was in front of our quote unquote White House. I'm sorry if you didn't see it. It was totally blown under the rug. But we can't forget that. That's an act of war. That's an act of psychological war. I'm not, it's crazy. Crazy.
It really is. We're so ass backwards. I say it every week.
Crazy. Thank you, baby.
All right. So Joe, your husband,
Pluto.
he doesn't have to because we didn't know that Pluto was there this entire life. So he had to put it out there. Mm-hmm. All right.
Of course Pluto's here because I have my white dress on. My one white dress. I didn't even get married in a white dress. I have my one white dress. I'm like, if not tonight, when? Joe King, who is that?
It says selenium for hair growth.
Agreed. And castor oil. Castor oil really, really, really works on the eyelashes, the eyebrows. Castor oil works.
That's amazing because I'm almost taking RT's advice. I'm really tired of growing out my hair. I came this close to dyeing it today, and my sister's like, Mary, just give it more time. You'll get used to it. So I do want something that's going to maybe help it grow faster. But
selenium is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love castor oil, and I would just like put it on, and I don't know. Don't listen to me. But I love castor oil for my hair. I think my hair's pretty good for my age.
Your hair is beautiful.
Thank you. And it's got really
take care of your hair.
My hair is like really thick in the back, but like it thickens up my hair in the front with castor oil.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And Singe was here earlier, but anyway, let's see. I think that might be it.
Oh, here's Jeff. Hold on. Jeff, my very important job. 25 minutes, Lila.
All right.
I'm watching a very important dog. Excuse me. Okay. See you soon. Very important dog. A vid.
Anyway.
Super hunks. I want my super hunks. Come on, Mary. Let's have fun.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we did super hunks on the deck at the cabins with my.
Super hunks without me. Who did you guys do? I want to.
Crap. I might need Mike. To remind me who they were. Oh.
I love super hunks. Let's do it.
Oh crap. Who was the other one? One of them was Christopher Walken.
Young or now?
Does it matter?
I'm not an ortho bro. Well, I am an ortho bro. It matters. I'm so bad.
Christopher Walken, Steve Buscemi was another one.
I know who was involved in this. Your middle sister. She's always loved him. So far, Christopher Walken. Go ahead, yeah.
Christopher Walken, Steve Buscemi, and I forget who the third one was. It was almost like that B actor. Oh, the guy from the Army of Darkness, the Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell.
Him. Bruce Campbell wins. Bruce, Christopher Walken, and then that other lame-o Steve Buscemi. Yeah.
Where we landed on it, it was Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken, I'm sorry, he's evil. I'm pretty sure he's a handler out there in Hollywood.
I would agree with that, yeah.
He's always been just kind of around. He's like almost like
yeah.
Dog.
Oh my God, Mary, around. He was on the boat that Natalie Wood died on. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, always just been hanging around. Yeah, totally.
But as far as like looks go, I mean, he was so freaking good looking.
No, the Evil Dead guy was hotter.
No, actually, he finished last. Steve Buscemi actually came in next because you were forced to look at him. No. You're forced to look at him and figure him out. And in that, he becomes more attractive. And then last was Bruce Campbell. So
Bruce Campbell's my numero uno. I'm glad you guys brought me into it. And then Christopher Walken and Steve Buscemi is not invited. He is the guy that like gets the broom and sweeps up after super hunks. He's not super hunks. I want to hear Joe's super hunks. Let's have double super hunks. What did Joe say?
Oh, The Dead Zone is an excellent. Christopher Walken young. I'm sorry, he was so like eerie looking. But anyway, go ahead, Joe.
Hon, your lights look amazing. It's in the chat. I'm just looking at Joe's lights in my yard. Honey, you really outdid yourself this year.
Aw.
The year I have no friends. I've had many years where I'm like, come over. This year I'm like, I hate everybody, so I'm just gonna sit alone.
I know when you were talking about them having like their minority friends, new like Black best friend, it's like I would settle for any
so
best
fake.
friends at this point. But does Joe have them or not?
He said he put them in the chat.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I did. Hold on. Crap. I need my spectacles. Okay.
Spectacles.
Luke, Anakin, or Han Solo? Luke loses. Luke always, even as a young girl, I always thought he was kind of like, who is this whiny?
Luke is just like our brother or like our cousin that's like the youngest. That's like, we're kind of like, okay, Luke, you can come. Obviously, it's Anakin. Second is Han Solo. And Joe, your super hunks are kind of obvious.
No, I disagree. I was going to say Han Solo before Anakin because Anakin does kind of have a simian look to him. But hold on, Mike wants to say, Mel Gibson said when he first went to a Hollywood party and met Christopher Walken, he said, I think I just met the devil. It doesn't surprise me at all. So old Anakin in the helmet at the end of ROJ for the win. Stop.
Sweetie, will you go make sure our front light's on for our I'm watching a very important person's dog. Honey,
I know you said that like 12 times.
Yeah. I know. It's like, Faye, do you want me to ask you who it is? Well, I can't tell you.
No, you can't tell us.
We can't tell you. I'm being very secretive.
All right. Well, let us glitch out and end the stream. I have a party to get to on Discord.
I'm busy.
No, my party's online.
No, my party's upstairs in my bedroom. Oh, sorry.
What happened?
Just like that.
All right. Goodbye.
What?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm just
delete
that. Baby, the phone technology problems, okay? They know that this is what's going on with technology right now, okay? This is my opinion. Mary, just hang on for 1 second.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just tried to like log into my phone just to tell it I don't know what I was doing, okay? Because I'm a human being in 2023 and I just log into my phone when I have any, and it's asking me to agree to some bull crap. And I'm going to say, and it's like, oh, remind me later. I don't want to remind me later. I want you to go away. But there's no button for go away.
It's not going to go away.
Yeah, so remind me later. So now I've agreed to remind me later. This is bad. The glitches be real, people. Right?
Yes.
Right, Mary, what are your final thoughts? I'm sorry.
Oh, my final thoughts are there is the sense of things happening it's let us not be desensitized to it because of what we went through in 2020 with that huge with everything with that, and there's still things going on. The cogs are still moving and there's more coming and we have to stay on our toes. I know that people predicted what happened in 2020 before it happened, and I just want everybody to stay on their toes, keep their eyes open, and not just shut down emotionally and mentally.
Mayor, I think that's like, honestly, like one of the greatest pieces of advice I've heard in the last 2 weeks, because that's what they're trying to do with distractions. And I'm guilty of it myself. Like I am. You asked how I was doing at the beginning of the stream, and I'm happy. But it's like what you just said is like we have to be on our toes. Like this is a war that's, I don't know. Pray. I still have my relationship with God as you do too, and that's the only thing that's going to get us. That's the only thing that's going to save us, I think.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's really true, Mary, because the infamous they are trying to distract us, and we are in like a distraction respite phase, and wow,
Yeah.
wow, what a holy guacamole landfill we're in. But it was great to catch up with you.
Yes. Yeah, it was fun. Sorry that I was on vacation. I couldn't have. I was being part of the problem. Anyway. All right. Well, take care, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and good to see you.
Everybody. Remember, guys, that we are not a very like professional stream. So, Mary, like we have to sometimes we have to use like the things people give us. We just like forget. Sometimes we have business meetings. We had one business meeting at the end. We were like, I don't know. So,
oh yeah, and I did actually, because my computer shifted halfway through. I don't have that on this computer, just to let you know. But we will do that again soon.
I'm just saying, like sometimes that we, no one's like coming at us, but please don't take it personally if we don't respond or we're like, Mary, I love you so much. Don't be we're kind of flighty. And aren't we, Joe? We're a little, we're wicked flighty, but I love you. And I'm going to fly away now. I'll talk to you later.
Right. Have a great night. Bye, guys. Thank you, everybody.